Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you in another video. All right, so the score was 131-114. The Lakers lost in Memphis to conclude the road trip that we went 1-4 on. No AD, no Rui, so we kind of gave the team a pass. I thought they put up a pretty valiant effort given the circumstances. Koloko made his debut with the Lakers. I thought he looked pretty good. Blocked a shot, got a dunk. Not bad. You got to give Memphis credit. They had like 6 players in double figures. Jalen Wells had 20. Jaren Jackson had 20. John Moran had 20, and also picked up an injury there on a messed up kind of lob where he came down and hurt his hamstring a little bit. So he only played 24 minutes tonight. Braun did great, 39 points, 6 of 11 from behind the arc. I think he had like 6 assists, 7 boards or something like that. Really, really great production there for the King. 19 points for Austin Reeves. Terrible shooting from behind the arc. I think D'Lo, had, I want to say 17 points, but also terrible shooting from behind the arc. Dalton Connect 1 for 7. Terrible shooting from behind the arc. That's kind of the theme there, man. It just wasn't a great night. Got to give Cam Reddish a hand. He had double digits tonight. I think he had like 16.7 rebounds. Don't quote me on that. 3 steals, 3 assists or something like that. So he really had a game tonight, man. That's been the revelation over the last 2 games is we're getting something out of Cam Reddish. He's been really good with the minutes given. So definitely the best player off of our bench tonight for sure. Gabe Vincent had like 6 points, 1 rebound. I thought he played a little better, but the production is nowhere near what we are paying for. And him not being more productive is kind of hurting us. But in a night like tonight, you're going to lose either way. Got killed on the glass. I think we got beat by about 14 boards or 13 boards, something like that. Only 11 turnovers as a team, so I thought we took care of the ball better than Memphis. 18 turnovers from Memphis, 22 points that we were able to get off those turnovers, so that was a plus. But it really just came down to inefficient shooting and just being undersized. So you got killed on the glass, and they just shot more and made more. They shot 51% from the field, 50% from behind the arc. It's hard to beat a team when they don't miss like that. And, that third quarter really hurt us. They had 2 32-point third and fourth quarters, in back-to-back 32-point quarters. So hard to beat a team like that, man. I just thought that, they really got production out of pretty much everybody. Jay Huff was unbelievable in the third quarter, just hitting all kinds of corner threes, had a reverse put-back jam. I mean, made us look real stupid out there, letting him walk like that. Scottie Pippen had a pretty good game. Don't remember what the stats were, but he did work. Jalen Wells, man, I'm telling you, that boy had like, 5 threes or something like that? He looked like a vet out there. How was he drafted in the second round? When you look at the production he's given the Memphis Grizzlies, this dude is more poised than just about any rookie we've seen. I mean, the poise, he just really shot the ball well and did not seem rattled by literally anything. And boy, was he maybe even I don't want to kind of speak out of turn, but he looked like he might be the steal of the whole damn draft, to be honest with you. He really looks like the steal of the draft to me right now. So yeah, I was aware that Memphis was pretty much playing to the level of the opponent in the first half, as we talked about. I thought we had a chance, but in that third quarter, they put the foot on the gas, took advantage of what they needed to take advantage of, and our inefficient shooting and size disadvantage just left us without a chance. Braun put up a valiant effort going back and forth with Jaren Jackson Jr. I thought that was a hell of a performance by both of them going at each other, pretty much one-on-one, very physical matchup. I enjoyed that, but we just couldn't get enough production out of other people. The inefficiency of our backcourt shooting the ball is just, it's something that we can't have next to a bad bench that can't score as well. You're just not getting enough production. And that's really what it is outside of Cam Reddish. I mean, Max Christie played okay. I thought he came in and, he was a little hesitant, kind of struggled, but he started finding his way at the end of the game. I think he walked away with like 8 points or something like that. I don't remember, but he's trying to work his way in. One thing I was thinking about in the fourth quarter, I would love to go back and see how many minutes Max Christie has had against top level talent starters, because I honestly don't think he's played against many starters for much of his career. A lot of the damage that he was doing was against second units with Darvin Ham. You know what I mean? Darvin didn't really put him in he started some games. We saw him play, meaningful basketball maybe a couple of times. But a lot of what the Lakers were assessing his production off of, I'd imagine, was him against second units and third units. And so that's a question I have. Looking back on him, has he really proven himself against starters? I don't think he has, not at any consistent level at all. So that's curious to me. I just, when you give a guy $32 million on a 4-year deal with a player option, you want to know that they can actually compete against the talent that's best on the floor against them. And a lot of what people have been saying about Max has been hypothetical in nature. It's like, we know he could stay in front of so-and-so. We know he can guard guys like, do you know he can guard guys like? Because I don't think we've seen him against guys like, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's one of those things where it's like, I've heard so many pro Max Christie conversations about what he's been able to do. But when I look back in my mind's eye, I don't think I've seen him play against too many people that are of cachet. And so that's just something that was coming to mind as I was sitting there watching him struggle out there tonight. But I mean, you just have to give this team a pass, because they really did bench two of their most important players, with Rui being out with some type of sickness, and of course AD. They rested, which was something I suggested. So, getting mad at this game is foolish, in my opinion. We definitely made this a designated loss. I thought Bron put up a valiant effort to try to make it respectable. I thought he was a superstar out there, but his production isn't enough. For those who say he doesn't affect winning anymore, they're not wrong. He's not enough to drag trash to the NBA Finals anymore. He can't even drag trash to a win at this point, even when he plays well. So you just got to have more talent on the floor, and it's a damn shame that we don't have that. And to play up against a team like Memphis Grizzlies that has 3 ex-Lakers out there, 2 of which are playing great in Huff and Pippen, you just have to look at Rob Pelinka with a side eye. You have to. When you look down there, you see Jackson Hayes. I think he had, 10 boards, 8 points, but a lot of what I saw down there to the eye test was not good with Jackson, man. His production was better than his play, as he was missing opportunities to rim protection was miserable. Certain things he do, I saw him run away from the basket at one point with the ball in his hands, try to look for Bron from behind the arc. I'm like, you a center, bro. If you don't turn around and shoot the ball or something, I mean, we prioritize keeping this guy, and we let whole Huff go. We let, you know what I'm saying? We let all these players go at the center position, and we're left with Jackson Hayes. And I'm like, who the hell okayed that? Like, how did that become what we finalized on? A limited center who can't rim protect, who's no threat from anywhere outside of 5 feet. How, with the circumstances off the court attached to his name, how in the hell did we land on him? And so this is one of them games. I just look at Rob Pelinka. I see this miserable roster. I look at all these injured players that we waiting on, that we chose to bring to our situation, and I'm just sitting here like, man, I'm just getting more and more frustrated with the decision making of this franchise. As I look at the game like this, Rui and AD can't sit out a game. You understand what I'm saying? They can't sit out a damn game. Bron got to put up 39 points, and we still losing by double digits. That's how bad this damn roster is right now. It's awful, y'all. The roster is miserable, and that is the truth of the situation. You know what I'm saying? And we could talk about, well, when we get everybody back, Vando come back, Wood come back. It's like, man, what are we talking about? What are we even talking about? These people have been out for a million years. Thank God Coloco's in. You know what I'm saying? Another player that we've been waiting for. We finally got him. Jalen Hood-Schifino's off running around in the G League somewhere waiting to be waived or waiting to be, a free agent, not even really probably even developing in him to be a part of this franchise this year to help us as the 17th overall pick. Bronny's, still a young player, but we gave him a roster spot. It's just a bunch of stuff that you're like, yo, you wonder why you have the worst bench arguably in basketball. It ain't even arguable. We most definitely have the worst bench in basketball, and it's because of these decisions that left us giving up on good players and retaining guys that are not very good, man. And I'm watching this crap thinking, man, I genuinely am losing my patience. I'm losing patience, and that's the problem with me personally as a Laker fan. I'm getting to a point where I'm gonna start sounding like other people when they start talking about Rob Pelinka. You know what I mean? I've listened to a lot of people who've been fed up with Rob Pelinka for a long time, and they've been ready for him to be fired, this, that, and the third. But this season is the season where I'm looking at this roster. I'm like, bro, I'm having a hard time with this. I really am. As somebody who tries to think like a GM and advise people on doing certain things, with leverage in mind, I'm the guy that tells you you got to be patient with the market because the market doesn't move on your demand. And if you try to make it move on your demand, you're going to overpay for something. Leverage is key. I'm the guy that understands all of that. And I'm genuinely telling you, I'm still having a hard time with this. You understand what I'm saying? Even understanding the market the way I believe I do, I'm having a real tough time with this roster here. And it just boils down to me being not happy with the decisions made to retain certain talent and to let go of other talent. I agreed with moving on from Castleton to retain Quincy Olivari. The problem is we're not using Quincy Olivari, so I can't see the goodness in that decision. And now I need a center. And Castleton's over there in Memphis. I never agreed with a lot of stuff that we did, man. That's what it really comes down to. Certain things, I was on board with bringing in Cam Reddish, but I did not have any knowledge of the harm of giving him a player option at the time. I just wasn't really clear on what that meant for us overall. I like what I'm seeing from him over these last 2 games, but like to zoom out, that's one of the problems that we have. I'm not at all on board with this Gabe Vincent situation. I don't remember exactly how I felt about picking up Gabe Vincent. I think I was pretty on board with it. I think, but I didn't like the idea of him not having any athleticism and being undersized, et cetera, but I don't think I was vehemently against it as maybe I feel I should have been at the time. And that's kind of how it is, and that's why I try my best not to bash Rob Pelinka, because a lot of the stuff that he did, I actually didn't think was all that bad in the moment. And that might be just, a deficiency of my own way of looking at things. But I'm very frustrated right now, just the same with those decisions. And it's easy for me to say, I hated the fact that you did this. But in some of those cases, I didn't. Some of those cases, I didn't hate some of those things at all. And I have to be honest with myself in the presence of all of this failure that we're feeling right now in the construction of this roster. But there are certain things that I wasn't on board with that if we would have done what it is I really wanted to do, I think we would be a much better team right now. And that's something I also have to be honest with. Little stuff like obviously the Jalen Hood-Schifino, Cam Whitmore thing. That makes us a lot better of a team if Cam's on the team, to say the least. I would have wanted to keep Scottie Pippen Jr. I would have wanted to keep Jay Huff. I would have never given Bronny James a 4-year deal underdeveloped. Now, you couldn't have talked me into that. There's no way, because I know how important I need a roster spot in this circumstance. Max Christie would not have gotten a player option. I didn't mind giving him the money we gave him, but giving him a player option, I don't think so. Because I look at him as an underdeveloped player, and I've learned from Jordan Poole. You just can't pay certain people without developing them. It's a mistake. And, this is another one of those situations. I I feel like if he plays up the value, which I think by the end of the contract, he could potentially make it so that we don't hate that he has one of those. It's a 4-year deal. But right now, I just, I can't see myself being pleased with that. The way this is going with certain limitations that he has, there's no way I'm giving him a player option. So, I just, Jay Huff probably should have been held on to. I don't think it would have hurt us to keep that player, especially since we've been searching for centers ever since. And the idea that he couldn't trek out to defend the 3-point line, he's in great shape now. He's twice as fast as he was when he was with us. So I don't know, man. I don't know. He really made us look foolish out there tonight in the third quarter. He really did, man. That's what stands out about this game above everything else, is just how good Jay Huff looked in the third quarter. In just limited amount of time, he was able to hit 3 threes and do a reverse jam that's probably going to be on the highlight reels tonight. And we didn't retain no value for this man. Pippen, no value for him. Colin, no value for him. These guys went to Memphis for nothing. Do you know right now Memphis can turn around and trade those guys for something good? If they put all 3 of those guys together in a package, they can get something that's actually worth having. Do you see how that's a real problem for our roster? And for our franchise, rather? Those are guys that we had in our farm club that we couldn't do nothing with. And we're a team that has a need to make trades, a need to have talent, a need to have equity so that we can make trades. And this is what we ended up giving to the Memphis Grizzlies. Sending guys out into the wild so they can acquire them and turn them into something that we should have been turning them into ourselves. Turn them into what it is that we ultimately need right now. And I'm looking around at a bunch of players that are negative in value. Gabe Vincent and, Jackson Hayes and all these different dudes. Jalen Hood, Fino. They're all negative assets. Every last one of them. You know what I mean? Our young guys are negative assets. Our vets are negative assets. Even the guys that have exciting names like Vanderbilt is a negative asset because he can't get on the floor. Rob, this is where we are at, man. This is really where we're at, bro. I don't know how else to phrase or frame my conversation other than to complain about these decisions and look at the person who's in charge of these decisions being made. And I know y'all don't want to hear this after every loss, but it really is the only thing I'm thinking about when I see games like this. I'm not really looking at the X's and O's on the court because, of course, we had to sit AD. We had to sit Rui. But it's just a bunch of stuff that shouldn't be next to one another, as I've already said. This Austin Reeves D'Lo backcourt thing. This is not working, man. Because neither one of them can defend, and now they're both highly inefficient scoring, too. They're shooting a lot, but they're missing a lot, Consistently. D'Lo is consistently having inefficient nights. Every single night, it's an inefficient night. Austin getting to the line, doing a lot of good things, but every single night, it's a handful of bricks. And they defended nothing, man. Nothing at all. So I'm and the way I see it is based on everything we've said and what we're seeing. I don't think we can undo any of this crap. I don't think you can get a good trade going without giving away equity that you'd probably be worse for giving away in the long run. And so what's left for me to do but just blame? Just apply blame where it's deserving to be. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, start thinking about what we need to do to not have this type of decision making in place anymore to hurt us any further. That's really where we at. Less informed Laker fans are going to tell you, make a trade. Well-informed Laker fans are going to tell you, nobody wants this crap, bro. Nobody wants to help you get better. Nobody wants to pull you out of your struggles. Literally, GMs are not going to do that for you. Owners have no desire to see the Los Angeles Lakers get out of this hole. It's much more fun for the ops to watch us fail and laugh and point and hope to God that AD asks out so they can get him at a half a price. It's the only way to play it if you're the field, man. Nobody's going to help the Lakers. Nobody's going to help Rob Pelinka. You know what I'm saying? So this is why it becomes a situation where the conversation isn't about necessarily getting a trade. The conversation is about the frustration, about not being able to play these guys' value up so that they can be valuable enough for anybody to want them. You know, giving 20-something minutes to Gabe Vincent and walking away with 6 damn points. $11 million a year. It keeps going down. I said 15 and 13. It's been confirmed at 11. He made $33 million on the contract for 3 years. It's $11 million a year. I think the way it's confusing to a lot of people is I think he got like 8 the first year, 11 the second year, something like. I mean, I think it's broken up in a different kind of way other than just giving him 11 every year. But I'm not really sure about that. Whatever the case may be, it's $33 million contract for 3 years. And we have this year and next year before he's a free agent. I just don't think anybody's going to want that anytime soon. We're not going to be able to get rid of that anytime soon, man. So, you know, Max Christie and his limitations, he's looking like a bad contract, y'all. I know it's early, but I don't know that he's going to be able to work out some of the things that he's not very good at. And that's $34 million, you know what I'm saying? On a guy that's underdeveloped. Y'all better make him look better than he look right now. Yeah, you know, that's where we're at, man. And I still, even though we had a bad night from Dalton, I just don't think he's being utilized correctly. He didn't shoot well. 1 of 7 was bad. The shots that you want him to take, he took. He missed them. Rookie. It's cool, but the Dalton Connect I saw in college, the Dalton Connect that I saw against the Phoenix Suns in the preseason, 35 points, that game right there should have showed us the recipe for getting Dalton going. You know what I mean? And I just think we failed to do that. I think we have failed. We got him looking like the rest of this damn bench. Just one more piece on this bench that can't play. I just know better. I absolutely know better. He is a different type of piece. He's not like that. We're just making him look like that, and it's really tough on our overall production as a roster. So I get bringing rookies along slowly. You know, it's very early in the season. We got a long way to go, but I just think we have a pressing need for what it is Dalton does, and we have not featured him properly, and we're giving respect to other guys who ain't doing anything. We're giving these, Gabe Vincent all these minutes off the bench so he can jog around and maybe hit a shot here and there, but mostly brick and get shot over. I just don't care to watch that anymore. I really don't. And so that's really what it is, man. I'm not particularly angry at this game. I thought our effort was pretty good. I thought we got outclassed in the second half by just more productive team, productive bench. They have more players to work with, to call on. Most, you know what I mean? They're not waiting on 7 and 8 people to come back from injury and start developing so they can actually perform on NBA court. And you saw the result of that luxury being in place despite them missing just as many key players as we're missing. To be honest with you, Ja went out in the third quarter. Vince Williams is out. Marcus Smart is out. Desmond Bane is out. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like we played the most healthy team tonight. It's just that most of the players that they have down there are actual NBA talented. And most importantly, they took half of the stuff that we didn't want and turned it into NBA talent while we're holding on to stuff we do want and can't make it NBA talent. So the Laker organization, Jeannie's going to have to take a look in the mirror first. She's going to have to look and say a lot of this is her fault. Her choices and things that she wanted to do with this franchise have trickled down to all this crap that we're seeing here. And she deserves the most amount of blame here. The most. Because you're the owner, and at the end of the day, they don't move without you telling them it's fine. And you taking us down this path of LeBron and all this other stuff that you kind of neglected, it's why our team is not very good. It's why Rob Pelinka was able to be in place and ultimately things look the way they do. It's why that we had a coach last year that didn't develop Max Christie, that didn't believe in Scottie Pippen, didn't believe in whoever else and how it went, did believe in guys that are not even with the team right now, like Taurean Prince. I mean, That was not harmless. I told y'all last year y'all should have fired that man early. And if you would have, this team would look better because some players would have more production to them based on the experience that they otherwise would have gotten. This is not, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. Salute to Kobe Minute. This is not acceptable, man. So that's what I got to say, man. Get healthy, Rui. I'm glad we said AD. Hopefully he feels good for the next one. If not, I think we should sit him again because we got to handle this for the long haul. And if this is something that's been lingering, it will continue to linger unless we let it heal. So I'm not in the business of rushing him back, especially since I know Joel's not playing in the next game. We might as well sit AD in that one too, to be honest with you. So that's just something I'm saying early. But, valiant effort from Bron. I would give him the game ball, but I have a rule. I never give the game ball to anybody who lost. I never do it. I don't care if they go for 81 points. If you lost, you ain't getting the ball. The ball is going to go to Jalen Wells. 5 or 7 from behind the arc. I thought Jaren Jackson could deserve it as well, but I thought LeBron really ate his lunch in a couple situations, so that kept me from giving him the game ball. You got pushed around by Bron a little too much, brother, for me to give you the game ball. I'm giving it to Jalen Wells because that kid looked so poised out there. He just did not miss. He looked like a 15-year vet out there. So that's who I'm giving the game ball to, even though I know the stats tell me that Jaren Jackson outplayed him. Jalen Wells is who gets the game ball tonight. So, yeah, man, this is a game that you call a scheduled loss. It went the way you thought it would. I thought we put a valiant effort up based on who we were in the game. But at the end of the day, our inefficiency from behind the arc and our inability scoring, rebounding, and our ever deficient bench just made it so that, the game was pretty predictable. This was a good one to bet on. You could have kind of predicted a lot of what happened out there tonight. It went exactly the way I thought it would for the most part. And so, yeah, man, D'Lo Austin shooting as poorly as they did, we can't sustain that crap. We can't sustain that, man. That's one thing that I need to say. We talk a lot about the defensive end. I even suggested this morning we lean more so into defense. But defense isn't the only problem the Lakers are having. We're having problems on the offensive end too. We really are. And we got to find ways of remedying that problem. We got to get, Bron had 39 points, man. And, we didn't score enough to even get into the 110s. So our offensive deficiencies are not given enough commentary, I don't think, around Laker land, whatever. All of us, we're not giving it enough conversation, in my opinion. We need to zero in on our offensive problems. And I don't know if it's fair to say that we're a bad road team because of the issues that we had on the road, but the record speaks for itself. We won one road game on a 5-game trip, and it was the team that ultimately almost had a chance to win in Toronto. They erased a 27-point deficit and made it a very close game. A Toronto team that we're going to see after Philadelphia, by the way, and in Memphis again after that. So how the schedule makers have it, we're going to see the same teams we just had trouble with. So, it's tough, man. This is tough, Lakers. BDL 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.